You won't believe it. Today Ken took his son for a joyride and stumbled upon a mysterious stranger's car. What a thrill! They found a bound girl. Dad, take me home. What a surprise! That catchy tune didn't send Dad away, but Ken's reaction was quicker than lightning. Seeing the bad driver, he took off. And that's why we don't let Dad take the kids alone. Down in the pipe, the boy turns around only to find a vacationing cobra. The boy hurls a rock, but misses. And that snake is totally king of the pipe, no mercy for intruders. It was a battle of wills, and after what felt like ages, Ken returned to find his son holding a massive snake. Talk about a family trait. To rescue the girl, he skillfully corded up the thug, sending his head to meet the ground in a dramatic encounter. But the girl didn't want to spill the beans on her ordeal, so he cleaned up the scene and took her home instead. The family quickly joined Ken for a late-night body disposal party. Talk about a hot mess. Oh no, the plot thickened when the construction workers dug up some bones. Cops and the chief arrived faster than you can say hello. The chief casually snapped a femur, and suddenly it was quiet. Analyzing the bullet holes, they pointed fingers at Ken. What a shocker. Soon after, he was invited for some tea by the cops. Old John sent his son Jamie to bail him out. Things are heating up. While his actions were self-defense, they couldn't escape the law for body disposal. Jamie arrived just in time to get roped in. Jamie asked to see the search warrant for the seized weapon, but the sheriff waved him off, claiming no warrant was needed. Civilian firearms don't have ballistics records. Things got weirder when the sheriff traded public firearms with civilians, leaving everyone speechless. What a math. They swapped barrels under the chief's advice, achieving peaceful trade. Now, without a single piece of evidence left, Ken was released on the spot. The chief had to reconsider his power play. If a bunch of Chinese tourists barged into your house and refused to leave, what would you do? They had no idea they were messing with the royal ranch. This was royal territory. Old John gave them a piece of his mind, partly because there was a bear lurking nearby. If they hung around too long, they might get bear-eyed. Such danger, plus bears are untouchable. Jim was just out riding in the woods when he encountered the bear. He climbed up a wobbly tree, feeling an epic showdown coming. The bear spotted him and shook the tree like a pie. Otter waiting for him to drop. His teammates heard the cries and rushed to the rescue. He was saved just in time. Ever since he got branded by the royals, it's been nothing but trouble getting beat up and chased. Old John heard the news and sent the royal warrior, Lip, to hunt down the bear for everyone's safety. On the way, he heard cries and followed them to the cliff's edge, only to find tourists plunging down to escape the bear. Lip sprang into action with the rope, deciding it'd be one at a time. But the girl insisted on saving her boyfriend first. What a plot twist. The boyfriend was on the same page, and they argued until whoops. She slipped and fell. The guy, heartbroken, let go of the rope and spun around only to bump into the bear. Luckily, he was famed for being quick on the draw, and the cops rolled in to handle the scene. The sheriff suspected Lip of illegal hunting, and when he heard about the tourist's fall, Old John sprang into action. Lip tried to explain, but was misunderstood. Soon, animal control knocked on his door, and Lip said he'd take them to the scene himself, but the lady officer gave him a rude awakening. Lip spotted a bug on her backside and thought, oh boy, this is trouble. The very next second, Lip immediately took off after her, life and death hanging in the balance. When he caught up to the officer, she was down in a heap, and things got messy fast. He absolutely couldn't die here or he'd be guilty as charged. So, he quickly called for a chopper. To avoid further injuries, Lip cut a wire to set a pony free and grabbed the officer, pulling the bomb. Sorry, I just gotta survive. The lady officer was saved just in time. But the next day, they found the bear already picked clean. The evidence was gone, so they could only guess if Lip was acting in self-defense based on his positioning. But in the position he described, there were no shell casings, definitive proof Lip was lying. Only Old John caught on. He pulled his hunting rifle and fired shots from that position for clarity. The shells dropped all in place. Lip wasn't a liar. But Old John noticed something funny with the sheriff's hands in his pockets. Old John had to reveal his probe. Heard you bought sea cucumbers. Can you actually afford that on a sheriff's salary? Those are like snacks for celebrity teams. All John felt the sting of betrayal. Looks like he had to pull some moves to change how people viewed Yellowstone into the biker party. But the big bearded guy didn't flinch. He mocked them as stinky sheep herders, not knowing the blood would flow. Words exploded into fists, but being outnumbered, the Yellowstone guys were quickly getting clobbered. But wait. Legendary Lip drove by, saw his mates getting stumped, and his rage fired up. He jumped out, wielding a bat. One punk pulled out a knife, but Lip delivered a punch. Meanwhile, an old cowboy jabbed him from behind. Led by the Yellowstone warrior, the situation reversed. He struck back when Lip was threatened. Lip marched towards the big beard. This really spells trouble brewing.